All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. I am going to call it 2 p.m. Hawaii time and 8 p.m. East Coast time, 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. Wow, I don't know why that was so hard to squirt out because I've been saying it just about every time I start this stream, but good to see we've got a bunch of people in the chat already. Terry in Scotland coming in with a huge party of 7. Darlene in with that raid. Pinnell, I'm assuming also part of that their raid, along with Katie's aura. And then of course Devin saying aloha and Beatty Bo raid. And let's see here, we've got Mama Sean on the YouTube side, and let's see here, Pinnell saying aloha to my kitties. And let's see here, we've got Mama Sean, Terry, and Pinnell. Okay, cool, Beatty Bo as well. Alrighty, then we go. There we have it. Good to see Rick has made it into the house. All right, so now that we've got a lot of our usual faces acknowledged, why don't we get the party started? Perfect. Okay, so, and all right, we've got DJ Smook in the house as well. Good to see you, Mr. DJ Smook. And Darlene bragging about some mild weather in comparison to previous weathers. Thankfully, finally getting a break. Rainy today, but humidity is down. And our temperatures are now down to 70 compared to 90s and tropical humidity. That sounds much better there, Darlene. Hey, BBB Bang, good to see you. Finland is in the house. All right, so Finland, I don't know whether or not you heard about it. You probably did, but Russia had a big old earthquake yesterday or day before yesterday, however it is, wherever you are. And, one of the biggest earthquakes ever recorded, actually, not, the biggest, but I think in the top 10. And anyway, people in the Pacific region, we were worried about tsunamis coming in, hitting all of our shores. The west coast of the continental United States, Alaska, of course, Japan, and even Hawaii was under a tsunami threat yesterday, and, well, yeah. Not a whole lot of waves rolled in. There was some incredible high water marking at the Haleiwa boat harbor, where the parking lot flooded to ankle deep waters, and that I believe was where the highest surge did end up happening. So exactly, DJ Smoke, so glad everyone was spared in Hawaii. Pokolati, aloha from upcountry Maui, hoping to see Uluakane tonight. Oh, awesome, Pokolati. Yeah, I had Kenny was supposed to be playing at Nalu's on the south shore of Maui last night, and I was a little bit worried about him, but as it turns out, there was not a whole lot of reason to be worried. Yeah. And let's see here. BBB Bang, you lost your other dog last Saturday. Oh no. I knew that you lost one of your dogs not too long ago, but now you've lost both of them in the span of 2 months, and you can't sleep at nights because you're not used to sleeping alone. That is just awful, BBB Bang. I do hope that you end up getting a furry friend sooner rather than later. I know that you're on the list and you're waiting for a baby, but maybe you should get 2. And all right, cool. So Terry in Scotland, this is what I've been wondering about for the last few days. So Terry's back home, obviously. The surgeon told me the procedure went quite well. All the tumors are out. Excellent. No more bleeding. That's always good. And there was no invasion of the bladder wall. Waiting for the pathology report now. Well, that sounds about as good as could be hoped for, Terry. I'm glad that they caught it in enough time that there was no invasions. And let's see here. Darlene bragging, it's such a relief. I'm thinking she means weather-wise. I actually baked chocolate walnut zucchini bread with the excessive zucchini crop you're getting from your garden. Exactly. That is the time of year for the excessive zucchinis. And let's see here. So, Pecola T, you had to wait several hours in Kahului till we could return to Kihei. Lots of folks evacuated. When you say you were in Kahului, you mean like, were you at the airport itself, or were you just in town near the airport? I know that Kahului is obviously high enough up that the tsunami is not a big deal, but did you just fly in yesterday with the unluck of the draw, and you were stuck at the airport? Because I feel like I'd really not want to be stuck at the airport. Even if I wasn't able to go to where I wanted to go, I wouldn't want to be stuck at the airport. And PBB Bang saying, slightly over 1 month, first week of September, you're getting a new dog. You already had it lined up before losing your other best friend. Right. And, you're at a shopping mall. Okay, gotcha. I would rather be at a shopping mall, I think, than the airport, although I don't. As long as the shopping mall had a good restaurant with a bar. And on the news, says Darlene, it's been showing some issues and evacuations. Sorry to hear it. You know, I saw some crazy videos yesterday if you were watching Andy Bumatai's Daily Pigeon Live episode, he showed a couple pictures of Ala Moana Boulevard in Waikiki, leaving Waikiki, and just how packed the traffic was. Well, I saw this video and I didn't get a chance to download it, but it was taken on Maui, and the flippin' evacuation, traffic, and chaos was insane. People were literally driving on the wrong side of the freeway. And when I say the freeway, I mean, 3 lanes in each direction. You've got a huge median between the two of them where wildlife and grasses are. And, you're not supposed to go over that kind of thing. Yeah, people going over that to go on the other side, not because the cops said, oh yeah, you should do this, not because the road was blocked off and allowing for this, but because they were so panicked, they decided it was safer to drive on the wrong way of the freeway than be in the traffic leaving town on the correct side of the freeway. And I gotta tell you, I can appreciate listening to, no kidding, we were stuck in Maui traffic, said forget about it, and waited at mall. Right, and I can definitely appreciate, like, listening to the warnings and being afraid of the warnings, etc. But I also feel like, especially people in Hawaii who surf, like, there are buoys out in the middle of the ocean that kind of help gauge what's coming your way. And I realize that until the force hits that continental shelf, you don't necessarily know how much it's going to go upward. But on the other hand, you know what the subterranean floor looks like around much of the Hawaiian Islands, and there's not necessarily a whole lot of ridges that will make the water go. I don't know. I feel like we could have... Let's see, what am I trying to say here? I think that this was a really good test for the systems in place and how to better fine-tune the warnings. Because I feel like it was a whole lot of not a lot of much, even in Japan. And I mean, it was a 10-foot rise in Russia where the earthquake happened. I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's a lot to learn from this. I'm not saying that people should not have heeded the warnings, but I feel as though a lot of chaos and excitement perhaps was a little unnecessary if you paid attention to all the tools at hand. And I say this because surfers know when big waves are coming within a few hours or even a day or two because of these buoys that are in the middle of the ocean, right? Like, big wave surfers literally monitor these things all the time. And when, say, Kai Lenny, who's in Hawaii, sees that a big wave is going to be hitting Brazil, he'll fly out to Brazil and catch that wave. And then he'll even watch the buoys and see if it's coming back. And he'll fly back to Hawaii and catch that same wave. I just feel as though I don't know enough about what I'm talking about to have an opinion. But I do feel like I know enough to think that we're going to need to really fine-tune these systems, because chaos like this for no reason, in hindsight, that's just going to make people stop listening to the warning systems. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And yeah, exactly, Pinnell. Luke stayed in his house. And I don't know exactly where Luke lives, but I do have a vague concept of the area just because of things he said and my familiarity with that area of the island of Honolulu. So I have a vague concept of roughly, I could never bring you to his house, but I could be like, yep, it's somewhere in this big area. And I wouldn't have left if I was him either. Because, like, if it's going to be that bad, then I mean, I can see why people on the beach were like, yeah, maybe I'm not going to hang out on the beach. I'm going to go to the 5th floor of my hotel. Like, I totally understand that. But when you live, a mile inland, even though it might be somewhat flat, and you've got how many houses between you and where the water is? Right, exactly, Piloti. Luke would have been far enough inland to be safe. Like, exactly. That's, like I said, I absolutely don't know where he lives, but I really feel confident that he was far enough inland not to have to worry about it. Now, the only reason why he would, I think, have to worry about it is he has a stream on the side of his property, I guess. And so, or near his property. And so I can only assume perhaps a big influx of water within the Aloi Canal and then up further streams might do something. But yeah, he was on the edges of the potential waves. Like, and when I don't know, Pinnell, I feel like edges is a real broad term on that one. I mean, obviously with a huge wave, he is in that potential. But, a 9-foot wave is not... They were recording the biggest recorded, the biggest recorded thing that they got was like 3 meters, and that's like 9 feet. Okay, 10 feet if you really, I mean, I don't know. All I know is I am very glad that they have all of those warnings in place. And it's very clear that they've got the science down to when they knew it would hit or potentially could hit. So I feel like just with a little bit more fine tuning, we might have a little bit better of a situation. And part of the thing I'm saying is, some places notoriously get hit with tsunamis. Hilo, for instance. Crescent City in California, for instance. But one of the reasons why Crescent City has had so many tsunamis hit it in California is because the underwater geology, the underwater landscape, there happens to be a major ridge in the seabed right before Crescent City. So any kind of deep wave, anything hits that ridge, and becomes an above water wave, which is the big scary kind that we're scared of with tsunamis. But Hawaii doesn't have a lot of beaches that have that same feature. I'm assuming Hilo might, given their history. But you know, Honolulu doesn't. Yeah, words are very hard. And they didn't know how tall the waves would get. Yeah. And you understood that tsunami waves are measured added to usual waves. It's, well, yeah, there is, there is that, but there's a lot of factors. And that's, I guess, my whole point is there are a lot of factors that can lead to a tsunami or not. And I'm hoping that this one will get enough computer modeling speculated after now in hindsight that we can fine-tune our data for future. Because my whole point of this rambling is people are gonna become deaf to the warnings. It's gonna become like The Boy Who Cried Wolf, right? You know, people are gonna stop paying attention. And Terry, you posted a preview of Chief of War in your Facebook. Be advised that Jason Zocoli features prominently throughout. Oh yeah, no, I know that it does. And Facebook isn't the one that has the problem with the brown Ocoles. That's Twitch. And let's see here, eMusic. I'm sure it's still the same eMusic. And by the way, hello. Way back when I was on Oahu, the traffic was terrible during a tsunami warning. Yes. And let's see here. Luke said, though, he doesn't understand why people were going to the beach, though. Oh, absolutely. No, there's... Totally don't understand why you'd go to the beach. That makes no flippin' sense. But I can see why people like Photo Luke, who were in their house, decided not to bother to leave. Shoot, you know, I spoke with Lono today. And Lono lives on the beach on Molokai. I mean, he basically, well, not on the beach, but on a fish pond, and on the fish pond is on the beach. And he didn't leave. He didn't see any point, and there you know, there was no point. And the reason why he didn't see any point was because he was watching all of the surfing buoys. He was watching all of the buoys that he's watched all of his life, ever since there's been online access to the data. And anybody who knows how to read a surf report kind of knew that that was a whole lot of nothing going on. And that's why I feel like. That's why I feel like some fine-tuning of the systems needs to happen. And this is and they can't happen without these types of events. So this is a perfect start to what I hope is a learning curve. Someone said the golf cart manufacturer should start building houses. Oh wait, I just saw a video of a house going flying in a tornado, but the golf cart next to the house stood still. Yeah, actually, and I don't remember who said that, but yeah, that actually can happen, PPP Bang. A tornado touches down in this one area and everything there is gone, but like 2 feet over, it's like there was no storm at all. It's very, very strange, that weather phenomenon. And let's see here. Ooh, Shaka's bragging because she's going to be in a pool. And, ooh, speaking of pools, y'all, next Wednesday, we're not going to have a Chatter with Statter because, why? Because I'm going to be going on a little mini vacation. One of my bartenders is taking me to a casino hotel with another mutual friend of ours. She gambles enough that she got a free hotel room and a whole bunch of free food vouchers. So we're going to go have a mini vacation and go play in the pool. And it'll be just in Tacoma. So, you know, not like I'm going far away, but there you go. We will not be having a stream next Wednesday. And this coming this coming Saturday for Chatter with Statter, or for the movie. I had an idea for a movie, but I don't have that idea anymore. So I was going to tell you what the movie would be, but now I'm not. And Terry in Scotland, how often does Scotland get a tornado? Can we summon one? Do you know a wizard? Because if you do know a wizard in Scotland, or even a wizard in Wales, or even a wizard in Ireland, shoot, maybe even a wizard in England, a witch will do too. I don't care. Can we summon a tornado on the golf course at this exact moment in time in this space? Because it would just be an act of nature. And Katie, you only know Harry Potter. Well, he might be powerful enough to start a tornado. Or if nothing else, could he do, you know, one of those forbidden spells? I can't remember what they're called, but you know what they do. You know, the excruciating ones. The ones that kill you. Can he accidentally mutter that in his sleep while pointing his wand in a certain direction, maybe? You know a witch in England who does YouTube videos. I actually know of a witch in England who does YouTube videos as well. I do not remember her name, but the channel is called Of Herbs and Altars, and I really enjoy her live streams. And Pinnell, by chance, is it Of Herbs and Altars, the same person that I follow? And let's see here. Lightning would work. Lightning could work. There we go. There we go. Lightning could work. Now, you know, the problem is it's really bad fashion to ask a witch or a warlock or any type of practitioner of magic. They generally try, as a general rule, you try not to put bad vibes out, because anything you put out is going to come back to you threefold. So it gets real dangerous when you're asking for sticky wickets like we are. But sometimes it's worth the blowback. This one's the grumpy old crone. Okay, all right. I'll have to check her out. And, all right. So let's see here, you guys. It sounds like everybody's safe from the scary tsunami. And we were safe here in the Puget Sound as well, so all was good. I was worried about their, if you remember a few years ago, I spoke at length about the canoe journey that the local tribes have restarted, and the local Pacific Northwest tribes in and around the Salish Sea. Once a year, different tribes host the gathering. And this year, the gathering is being hosted, I believe the gathering is on July 31st, is when everybody is expected to end up at the host site. The host site, unfortunately, or fortunately, is on the Strait of Juan de Fuca, which meant that the vast majority of the canoe travelers for the tribes were in the Strait of Juan de Fuca last night during the tsunami warning, and the Strait of Juan de Fuca was absolutely within the tsunami advisory. So I was a little bit concerned about the paddlers and what type of water rise along the shoreline they might have received, but all that I can see from online, it seems as though that wasn't an issue. They didn't see much action, as it were, so that made me very happy. And let's see here. Okay, so that's what you guys are talking about. Okay, Terry in Scotland, I expanded my Scottish vocabulary this past week. Donnie John is a wee scunner, for instance. Yeah, you know, I gotta tell you, the Scots really are wordsmiths. They have a way with words, and they will insult you so wholeheartedly, and you won't really even know what they called you. You just know, you just know it's not a good thing. And, Pinnell, Tareen is about to starve to death. And hey, Devin, good to see you. But what is a scunner, y'all? And then Crivens, I don't know what shock meant by that. Was that another Scottish slang that everybody's learning? And some Scottish ladies are of the opinion he might also qualify as a see you next Tuesday. Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about that. I thought that that was a given understanding within the entirety of the UK, because they use that word much more freely. I really appreciate how often they use that word. By the way, y'all, Liquid Death, not sponsored. And read the We Free Men by Terry Pratchett right now, because I don't have a copy. But you guys, last night, I swear, I don't know. I mean, Mercury apparently is in retrograde. I don't know if Mercury had anything to do with it, but last night was nothing but disappointments. So the entirety of the Pacific Coast was disappointed that there was no tsunami. But in my neck of the woods, I was also disappointed. For the last several weeks, I have been craving a hamburger and french fries like nobody's business. I have been thinking about it, and I've been denying it. And then last night, I could not stop the cravings, so I gave in and I went to a local burger place that I've heard. It's a locally owned and operated burger joint that just opened. It was like right next door to L&L. I could have gone to L&L, but I didn't. I decided to go to this place. Y'all, I spent $30 to throw half of it away. It was so flippin' gross. How often maybe this is just me, but like, I don't like to go to new places for just this reason. Do you guys go to new restaurants willingly or grudgingly? Oh, the meaning of scunner is to be in a state of disgusted irritation. Oh, well then I am a scunner for Donald Trump. I don't think Donald Trump is a scunner. He just causes people to be scunners. But yeah, so everything about this burger though, Red Wagon Burger, by the way, also not sponsored. Red Wagon Burger, y'all, the burger had no flavor. It's like they didn't even salt it. They homemade their pickles, which in theory should be nice, right? But the pickles were sweet, and they were smushy and mushy and slimy. And then even when I took them off the burger, the residue still reigned deeply within the bun. I mean, everything was like well prepared. It just tasted awful. The only thing that wasn't prepared properly, I guess, was the burger itself. To me, was a little bit underdone and underseasoned. Everything else was perfectly made, only it tasted awful. I don't really know how a place could manage to do it. Like, it looked like a good burger. The brioche bun was shiny and on one side. It was toasty on the other. It looked toasty on the other, but it ended up just being chewy. The lettuce and tomato, the lettuce was no good from the start. They were heavy-handed with their onion, which I guess if you like heavy-handed onion, that's a good thing, but it was too much onion. Although too much onion actually gave it the flavor that it was just awful. Their deep fry game was on point in the sense that they really knew how to deep fry without making stuff greasy. The bags that they served their deep fried stuff in hardly had any grease marks on it at all. You know how when you can get a good deep fry that it isn't really deep, greasy? Because I got onion rings and I got french fries. And I'll tell you what, you guys, even though the onion rings and the french fries both looked so perfectly, they were done to perfection. They were hot. They looked good. Y'all, the french fries were even like sort of battery seasoned. You know how some french fries have that extra crunchy stuff on them? they still had no flavor. The onion rings had no flavor. The French fries had no flavor. There was no flavor. And Verity, I actually don't think it was old meat because this place is super popular. I mean, it had a line out the door by the time I was leaving. This place is constantly it's been around for quite some time, and I've heard nothing but good things about them. But their house sauce was like sweet catsup. Their sweet pickles that are house made, which in theory I would normally like. Well, I don't like sweet pickles, but house made pickles, I don't think the meat was old. It was unseasoned. But exactly, a bad burger, for shame, Si Honda, because if you've heard me say it before, I don't believe in a bad burger. I only believe in a better burger. But this was a bad burger. I threw half of it away. A body this size does not throw food away willingly. I threw it away. Bacola Tea, on the other hand, is up. We had steak fries, crispy, well seasoned outside, fluffy inside. Not to mention it was the juiciest Maui burger ever. Because, yeah, I saw that part too, Bacola Tea. I just chose to ignore the delicious sounding burger that you got to enjoy. And so, yeah, seriously, dude. I could not flip and believe how bad that hamburger was. And yet, and this is the deal, it's like, except for the homemade pickles, which were awful, it was a very well prepared meal. It looked like it was cooked perfectly, beautifully. It was... Yet, it might as well have just been greasy styrofoam. I know, and Devin, that's my point, is like, seriously, I had to spend $30 to find out that this was super flippin' crummy. And that is why I am a old, stodgy, stubborn person. It's like, where do you want to go for dinner? Where do you want to go get your burger? I want to go to Smokies. We always go to Smokies. I know we always go to Smokies. I'm tired of Smokies. Yeah, well, I know that I like Smokies, and I know that I'm going to like what I get at Smokies, so let's go to Smokies. And some people like very bland food. They must cater to them. I actually do think that might be the case in this situation. And exactly, Si Honda, it was a social media meal, good to the eyes, not to the mouth. Yes, exactly. And then, we were at the ranch picnic table watching the dude hand press, then grill the burgers outside. Bacola Tea, I want you to mail that burger right now. And I want it in my belly yesterday. And there you go. And exactly, Darlene, it's happened to me a couple times with high expectations for a place, then was disappointed. Yeah, exactly. It happens, though. Sorry you had to waste your money and taste buds. Yep, me too. And what's even worse, though, is I want to go back, not for their food, but they have a menu of milkshakes. And they've got some pretty crazy, wonderful milkshake flavors. You know, you got your pineapple, you got your banana, you got your dulce de leche, you've got your butterscotch, you've got your chocolate, you got your raspberry, you got your blackberry, you got your coconut, you got your you got your vanilla, you got cinnamon, you got a peanut butter. I mean, they've got like a crazy milkshake menu. And I saw a couple of the milkshakes that went out, and I was like, I maybe should have ordered a milkshake. So I want to go back for one of their milkshakes. But unfortunately, their milkshakes only cost like $1 quadrillion. And so because they cost $1 quadrillion, I have no doubt in my mind that I'm probably going to hate it. Because as a general rule of thumb, there's no such thing as a bad milkshake, only a better milkshake, right? I thought that once before. And I know exactly, Darlene, they sound delicious. And what I really want to know, and I'm hoping, is can we mix and match flavors? I want a chocolate banana milkshake, or I want, I don't know, a pineapple coconut milkshake, or I want a coconut cookies and cream milkshake, or I want a dulce de leche chocolate milkshake, or I want a peanut butter banana milkshake. Ooh, or I want a peanut butter banana and chocolate milkshake. So yeah, I want to check out their milkshake game. But here's the deal. Smokies, my tried and true burger place, it's just around the corner from my house. They also are pretty on point with their milkshake game, so they've got a tough bar to meet. But honestly, the burger there was so bad that I really thought about revisiting Pecola T's burger spreadsheet that she did for the burgers in the Honolulu area. And I was thinking I might start rating local burgers starting a local burger spreadsheet for rating, and Red Wagon will be the first one, and it'll just be a resounding grossness. And that chef from Seattle named Kenji cooks a mean double smashed burger. And yeah, I know, Darlene, maybe just go to my place. I know, see, but I'm trying to explore. I'm curious to see if I'll be disappointed on that level. Here's what I can tell you, though. When I was standing in line, so in this strip mall, there's L&L, there's a Korean chicken place, there's a Baskin & Robbins, and then there's this burger place. And there was a lady who got her dinner at the Korean chicken place, but then she came over to the burger place to get her milkshakes, even though she could have gotten a milkshake at Baskin & Robbins. So I'm thinking the milkshakes might be better than Baskin & Robbins milkshakes, right? I don't know. That's why I'm really curious. Also, I really want to try a banana milkshake because Smokies does not have a banana milkshake. They do have pineapple, they do have raspberry, they do have blackberry, but they don't have banana. And yeah, see, Honda, I'm right there with you. I really would like Pecola T's steak fries as well. And Terry in Scotland, the chef from Seattle named Kenji cooks a mean double smash burger. Smash burgers are always going to be my jam. I don't know about you guys. Which do you prefer? Which would you rather have? A 1/4 pound burger all in one patty that's thicker? Or would you rather have 2 thinner patties that equal a 1/4 pound? I would rather have 2 thinner patties that equal the 1/4 pound. And Devin, it's smashed all day long, right? And I want to try Banny Bo's banana milkshake. Wait, Banny Bo has a banana milkshake? I don't see Banny Bo's restaurant for banana milkshake, but yeah, that'll make me happy, I think. And yeah, 2 thinner patties, right? Exactly. Like they get more flavor, more char, more yumminess. I don't want the big old thick burger. And then also, it was like a little bit pink in the middle, and I know that some people like that, but I don't. And see, Honda, I'm sure they will combine your milkshakes with bananas for an extra cost. That's a good point. That's a good point. I don't want to pay them extra. It's already expensive. I don't want to pay them extra. It's already expensive. Everything's expensive. That's why I'm complaining to begin with. Because for real, I would have probably been happier with a double cheeseburger from the drive-thru at McDonald's. Actually, I know I would have been happier because those taste good than I was with this hamburger. Darlene, you do like a juicy burger, not a dry hockey puck. Oh, for sure. The skinny burgers definitely best not be overcooked. Yeah, they still need to be juicy and greasy. But, sometimes on the TV shows, you see these big burgers and they're, big, and then like the patty is all an inch thick, and it's just like, no, I don't. And oh, Terry in Scotland is saying the Queen's Dairies, who Baby Bo delivers milk for, makes banana, strawberry, and chocolate milkshakes. Oh. Yeah, I like In-N-Out. Verity, good to see you. I don't think I said hi to you earlier when you came in either. Sorry about that. Verity, good to see you. Yes, the In-N-Out burgers are, the thinner kind of patty. And Devin, how is that Liquid Death? What's it taste like? This one is just the plain one. This is just sparkling mountain water, so it tastes like fuzzy water. I like this one the best because a lot of plain sparkling waters have a dry, like Perrier, I feel more thirsty after I drink it than before I drank it. Whereas this is just like fizzy water, you know? And other plain fizzy waters, it's almost like the bubbles are too tiny and too much. Whereas this is like bigger bubbles that are softer in my mouth. I don't know if that makes any sense. But yeah, I don't like the flavored Liquid Deaths. First off, they have sugar in them, so I don't do the sugar. But I also just don't like how they taste. The lime one is probably the okayest, but the plain one is my jam. If I can't get my Pamplemousse LaCroix Liquid Death, the plain one is my jam. And I know, Terry, that's what Bainey said. They can discontinued Liquid Death at Tesco. So Bainey Board, yeah, and it sounds like you can get like a 6-pack for $1, which is crazy because this singular can, this is a 19.2 ounce can. Hold on. This is a 568 milliliter can, and it cost me $2.74. Yeah, that's right. I just spent $2.74 today on a can of water. Yes. Wow, you guys, one more thing to make Mad Statter mad. We just got 2-for-1 pack of Kula Fresh strawberries for $6. That means 16 ounces was $3 so for Farm Fresh berries. Oh, Bacola Tea, why did you only get $6 for? Why did you only get 2? Oh, it's time to make some jam, man. That sounds like a great deal. That sounds delicious. Yum, yum. I am a little bit jealous. But only a little bit because actually I just got a whole bunch of fresh strawberries for free. So I'm only a little bit jealous, but my best guess is your strawberries were way fresher than the ones that I got. So I'm definitely a little bit jealous. And Terry, a double smash burger cooks faster with double the crispiness and a slice of cheese in between. Exactly. And let's see here. Well, hold on. Oh my goodness. Oh, hey, Kenny from the Cove. Good to see you. And, oh, you can only carry so much back on the... Oh, that's right. You're not... Right. Duh. You're on Maui. I knew that. Except for I didn't. All right, y'all. So, we're just finishing up, I'm thinking, our hamburger talk. And the reason why I'm thinking we need to finish up our hamburger talk is because we're 2 minutes past our Lono listening break. And so, as I like to do, sometimes I like to find a little theme for which song I choose for Lono listening break. And, well, my best guess is you'll understand why I chose the song Watching Waves. So here we go. Let's listen to some Lono. Thank you so much for 1,000 biddies, Terry. It's time for Lono and Watching Waves.
All right. Watching Waves. Count me in, Paul. times that I wiped out when I wrote this one. She wanted me, but I wouldn't have it that way. No, I wouldn't have it that way. The way I did. The way I did. She lies awake, not feeling well, so I will wait till she comes around. Don't let me leave, not by herself. I wouldn't have it that way. No, I wouldn't have it that way. The way I did. The way I did. Ocean wanting me, I crawl to the sea. Ocean wanting me, I crawl to the sea. Ocean wanting me. Ocean wanting me. There's unhappiness I will leave behind. The things they said, the hurt they caused, watching waves go by, the radiant sky. I wouldn't have it that way. No, I wouldn't have it that way. No, I wouldn't have it that way. No, I wouldn't have it that way. The way I did. The way I did. The way I did. The way I Ocean wanting me, I crawl to the sea. Ocean wanting me, I crawl to the sea. Ocean wanting me. Ocean wanting me. Ocean wanting. watching waves. Woo! I said it.
All right, there we have it, our Lono listening break. That is an older Lono tune of Terry in Scotland. You probably maybe haven't heard it. If you're familiar with a lot of his old style series, this was prior to that. You can find it on 2 different albums. One of them is Radio Kihei, and I believe the other one is Maui Looks Beautiful from Molokai. I know Radio Kihei is definitely one of them, though. It's called Watching Waves. And written, you can check that video out, obviously, on his YouTube page, and he gives a little history of how that song was written. But ultimately, how that song was written was him watching the waves while he was a lifeguard on duty, waiting to get off duty so he could go catch some waves. And that's the long story short of that one. And speaking of Lono, if you don't know, August 16th, he's going to be performing on the island of Oahu. He hasn't performed on Oahu in, I think, decades, but he's going to be playing at a place called Lanterns. It used to be known as Jolly Rogers, and Israel Kamakaviva Ole and the Makaha Sons got their start at Jolly Rogers. It has since switched owners, switched to name. Now it's called Lanterns, and back a long time ago, 50 some odd years ago, Lono did play at that club when it was Jolly Rogers, but now 50 years later he will be coming back again to play at Lanterns. He's hoping to make it a semi-regular thing, and so for those of you who are not able to make it to the west side of Oahu on August 19th, August 16th for that Lono show, keep your ears tuned, because there might be more coming, and there might be more shows coming, not just on the west side of Oahu, but in town and maybe on the east side of the island as well. And so it looks like we have Carl in Arkansas, aka Midnight Radio. Midnight Frequency Radio coming in saying good evening, and Kenny from the Cove. I don't know if I said hello to you when you first came in before the Lono listening break, but if I didn't, hello, good to see you. And that didn't really happen, Terry, did it? Okay, so Terry is saying that Texas man was arrested in Rome for mugging the Pope. Details to follow. And apparently it did happen. It seems like Florida man would have just been a better headline. Oh, Kenny did it. I see. He means Kenny's comment. Wait. Oh, check Kenny. Oh, okay. Wait. Hold on. Glad you're on the way to. Oh, you'd mug the Pope for that kind of weather right now. Oh, got it. Okay. Oh, went right over my head. All right there. Got it. And actually, though, Rick and Darlene, I read that you guys in Wisconsin, maybe not your neck of the woods in Wisconsin, but, and so eMusic, I guess this is for you too. I read that you guys were in for some severe weather, or did that threat already pass? Like the tornadoes and the whole nine, that's already... Are you still buckling down for awfulness, or did the awfulness already pass through your neck of the woods? Because honestly, I can't even remember when I saw that headline. I just know that I thought of you when I saw it. Yeah, so there you go. Thoughts and prayers, I guess, is what that's all about. And and just an all-day rain, and the Brewers lost to the Cubs. Got it. Okay. And, oh yeah, I guess it is baseball season, isn't it? I always forget that baseball season is an all-summer thing. I only think of it in the fall when it preempts the TV shows that I was expecting to start after the fall season. Yeah, there we go. And let's see here, just a rainy day, but no awfulness. Earlier, about a good week ago, we had the storms. I hope it wasn't a week ago that I had those thoughts and prayers, and then I'm just remembering them now. All right, then. So, PPP Bang, I don't know if you are still here, but if you are, I am showing us this video because sometimes miracles happen after your loved dog passes away, and this particular family totally, I don't know, man, struck a strange reverse jackpot. So check this out.
Well, now to a story about improbable chance. An East Bay family's longtime dog, a rat terrier mix named Rufus, passed away earlier this year. The family added a new addition a few days later from a San Francisco rescue, another rat terrier mix named Ziggy. And then everyone was in for a big surprise in this tale of two dogs. If Ziggy could talk, would have one heck of a story to tell. The senior dog does, however, have his owners to tell part of his story.
Ziggy was found as a stray in Martinez.
The Reef family from Alameda had just said goodbye in April to Rufus, their loving and gregarious rat terrier mix of nearly 10 years. Heart-stricken, mom Jillian and daughter Maya went online that night just looking for comfort to fill the void Rufus left.
Mom had the phone and I was doing the thing. I was like, why does that dog look so much like Rufus?
Just days later, the family found themselves at San Francisco's Muttville, a senior dog rescue, to meet the Rufus lookalike, and were immediately smitten.
What? What do you mean?
Ziggy went to his new home that day, but Jillian couldn't kick just how similar Ziggy was to Rufus.
The first place he ran up the stairs to go into was our children's room. And that was the first of many, many similarities between Ziggy and Rufus.
But she wanted to know more about Ziggy's DNA anyway, so she decided to test him. The results came back. Ziggy was a split between Chihuahua and Rat Terrier, the same as Rufus.
And then I looked over to the side and there was an extra tab that said relatives. And when I opened it, I scrolled down and there was Rufus's profile that we had done 9 years ago.
The test came back and it said that Z is 68% of Rufus's DNA. He's his biological father, and all of our heads kind of exploded, you know?
Ziggy's chance story has even shocked the folks at Muttville.
It's the craziest story in all of the dogs and all of the rescues we've ever done. I thought I'd seen it all. We're all about the magic of the dogs. So this is such an incredible example of something like this happening.
Only Ziggy can fill in the gaps of his journey, but we do know this. His story with the Reef family is just beginning.
It's just a completely improbable and wonderful story of getting good news when we needed it the most.
This is probably everyone's favorite story of the day.
Of the week, of the month?
Yeah.
I'm watching this thinking like the number of things that had to happen and the timing of the coincidences for all this, with Rufus passing and Ziggy being on the streets.
Right.
And I mean, the chances are one in I don't know how many millions.
Right. And the daughter having, just pointed it out that night and said, that guy looks like Rufus, so it's just all of it had to come in a magical way together, right?
Oh, that is fantastic.
So I just thought that everyone might enjoy a feel-good story about some pupper doggos. And that one sure put a smile on my face. And I think it put a smile on Darlene's face too, because she said she'd already heard it and she loved the story. And and so also I have to say, it really made me confirm something that I already suspected. When they said that there was a similarity between the two dogs and the way the dogs acted and how they, not only looked alike, but they had some similar characteristics and mannerisms. I had a stray cat show up at my house when I first moved here, and I called him Puff because he was very feral and really did not like people. And he would show up in my yard, and then I'd see him, and then I'd blink, and then he'd be disappeared like a puff of smoke. So that's how he got his name, Puff from Puff of Smoke. And he was a very unique tabby in the sense that his stripes kind of all made concentric circles into his belly. On this, like if you looked at a profile of him, his side, it was like big pale stripe, you know, and it just got to be like a bullseye pattern almost. That I'd never seen a tabby with a pattern quite like that. Well, Puff eventually, he hung out in my yard for years upon years. He was an unneutered feral cat. He ended up dying underneath my bed. He came inside the house to die under my bed. So that was awful. But about a year later, a cat showed up in my yard that looked exactly like Puff. Only he was like twice as big. And anybody who ever had met Puff or seen him, immediately when they saw this other cat, they're like, oh, there's Puff. And it was like, no, Puff died. This is a new cat. But everybody thought it was Puff. And then I was like, by the way, Puff was way smaller. And then they'd be like, oh yeah, you're right. Anyway, when Puff, for the first time that Puff ever spent the night in my house, and it took years and years and years for him to do that. But and he was already an old man by the time he did that. And I saw, no, not Puff Daddy, my cat Puff. And so the morning after he slept inside for what I assume is a very long time, if ever, he went out into the backyard, and I could tell just by watching him that he was like, whoa, why am I not so stiff? Why my joints are loose? You know, it was warm last night. I didn't have to freeze in the cold. And he did this little happy dance. I saw him do this little back and forth bucking bronco happy dance. I'd never seen a cat do it before, but he did this happy dance. So anyway, he dies. A year later, another cat that looks almost identical to him shows up. And lo and behold, something happened with that big cat. I don't remember what it was, but he also did the happy dance. And I am, to this day, obviously I don't have the cat genetics report, but I am convinced to this day, and that little dog story only reinforces my conviction that the cat, which I then called Big Poppy, was the next generation of Puff. I am convinced that Big Poppy was Puff's either son or grandson. I'm thinking son. The timing does work out right. And so, yeah, when Puff died, Big Poppy came and took his place. And he lived with me for many, many years. As far as I was concerned, Big Poppy had a birthright to stay on this land thanks to his father, Puff. And, I don't know why cats have birthrights to my land, but apparently in my kingdom, this cat has a birthright to this land. He shall be allowed to traverse freely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And exactly, that was the spirit of Puff coming to visit. And let's see here, Terry, little Jaffa did the happy dance too. I could hold my hand over her and she would hop up to it. So cute. Yes, totally. Yeah, Jaffa sounds like she had super personality extra. I can see why you fell in love with her, Terry. I totally can see why you fell in love with her. And Puff told him to visit me. Exactly. Well, not only Puff told him to visit me, Puff told him this is a safe place to stay. And it was. He basically stayed there until he died. He was my second generation gray tabby, extra cat, half cat, gray tabby, half cat. Because whenever people ask me how many cats do I have, it's like, well, I have two. That's Ashes and Dusty. But I also have Leo, but he's not really mine. I'm more his than he is mine. So I consider Leo a half cat. And that I have. And Leo is the third iteration of the gray tabby accessory cat. Apparently this property comes with a gray tabby. No matter what cats you personally have, a gray tabby will come visit you here and decide that they want to live here too. That's been my experience with this property. And Katie Zora, you do need to get a kitty. You do. I have no reason to boss you around like that, but if you let me boss you around like that, I'm gonna say you need to get a kitty. And Terry in Scotland, I think you might have to try getting a rescue cat after you get the all clear. I think that would be a beautiful idea. Obviously, make sure you are in a position to, be able to care for them, which means getting the all clear. But I think that that's a superb idea because cats, for the most part, are they're not like children. They're not like dogs. Cats are their own independent thing, right? And exactly, Kenny, I am Leo's step human. That is exactly it. That is exactly it. But I will tell you this. I don't think Leo is related to Big Poppy or Puff. Very different tabby markings, and I haven't seen him do the happy dance yet. So, yeah, it's hard to say. But that's okay. He's still allowed. He keeps the big bad cats away. Because my cats are, they're neutered and spayed. They're not tough. Leo's tough. Leo has the masculinity to keep the others at bay. My cats are just like, I don't know, I don't really want you here, but I'm not gonna do anything about it. And Darlene, yes, exactly, encouraging Terry to get those kitties. I personally would encourage you to get a black kitty because black kitties are usually neglected in shelters. On the other hand, I almost encourage you not to get a black kitty, only because I don't want you comparing your kitty to Jaffa. And let's see here. See, one night I was told there was a dead cat on the street. To my horror, it was my favorite stray gray. Sadly, I put her in a box and called for pickup. The next day I was shocked to see the cat alive. It was the cat's grown daughter that died. The stray gray was still around. Oh no, but right, yeah, how wonderfully awful, right? Right, and it is amazing though how some cats can look almost identical to their parent. Or, actually, I thought this was so strange. So I had an orange kitty that, his name was Whiskey, and his mom cat was a calico. She was unneutered she was still obviously able to get pregnant, and she would get pregnant from random alley cats in downtown Seattle. So I get one of her cats. It's an orange cat. I call him Whiskey. I love him. And Whiskey is very distinctly orange marked in the sense that he's a tuxedo cat. He's orange, but he's got white gloves. He's got white boots. He's got a red and orange distinctive ringtail. And he's got a white little mask with a little orange beauty mark right in this one area, right? It's very distinct looking. Well, Mama's next litter, I'm assuming, must have had a liaison with the same papa as Whiskey's papa, because she had another orange kitty, and that orange kitty looked identical to my orange kitty, right down to the little orange beauty mark in the white mask area. It was so flippin' cute. So we were pretty sure it was probably the same dad. And oh my God, Baby Bo, no! That is not an acceptable thing for people to do. Adopt a, yes, Bacola T, also good point. Adopt a senior kitty, totally. They're often passed, because everybody loves the kittens. Give seniors their best final years. That's actually a really, really good point because honestly, if you're not ready for a kitten, kittens are a nightmare. And I think Shock can sort of maybe speak on this. And if you're gonna get a kitten, you might want to get two, because they're actually less of a nightmare when you have two of them, because they can play with each other instead of attacking you and all of your everythings. But if you want to avoid the nightmare kitten phase, get the senior cat for sure. For sure. And then Terry and Skyland, orange cats are supposed to be the greatest characters with perfect comedic timing. Terry, I totally agree. Let me tell you what Whiskey did one day. I was actually sitting here, right here, and I had a friend who was sitting right across the desk, because this is the desk, right across the desk, we're talking, you know. Whiskey came running from the backyard as fast, I mean, I swear the hounds of hell must have been after him, right? Running, came in so flippin' fast. I thought something like was wrong. He hops up on the desk between the two of us, sticks his butt in the air, farts in our faces, looks over his shoulder, and then runs out the house just as fast as he came in. First off, I've never seen a cat fart before in my life, let alone a cat come in, put his butt in the air, and just in between the two of us, and he did that on purpose. Yeah, orange kitties are good. And let's see here. Tareen just wanted me to hold strings and move them around for long periods as a kitten. Right, there you go. And the training, getting to know what's okay and what's not. Yes, exactly. Because, yeah, Picola T points out, if you get a kitten, be ready for a 15-year commitment. Right, exactly. And so, yeah, I think getting a senior cat is for sure the best idea. Orange cats are some of my favorite, but I cannot, after Whiskey, I don't think I could ever have another orange kitty, because Whiskey will always be my orange cat. If that makes any sense. His brother Guinness was a black cat, and Guinness was a character too. Actually, Guinness was a total character, but nothing like the orange kitty Whiskey. Whiskey was the golden child, literally and figuratively. And I just don't think I could ever have another orange kitty. So it's black kitties for me, although I have been considering a black and orange kitty. What are they called? A tortoiseshell? Tortoiseshells are pretty cool looking. I kind of like tortoiseshell kitties. And, Terry and Scotland, are pack mules known to be a little gaseous, so to speak? A little gassy? Okay, so, you guys, you've heard me talk about this before, and I'm going to mention it again. I'm kind of scared of otters, all right? Let's see here. Wait, so, Pinnell, Hugo would often give off bad smells after he passed. One day a smell happened, so Hugo was visiting. Nice. I mean, not nice, but yeah, there you go. He was coming in to say hello, goodbye, just checking in. And yeah, you know, animals like to check in, even when they don't belong to you. And I would like it if Hugo checked in, if I belonged to him and he belonged to me, but this animal in this video, he checked in, and I don't really know if I would want this video to have me in it, because I've said it before and I'll say it again. Otters kind of freak me out, y'all. I know they're cute, but they're big and they hang out in packs, and, well, just look at this. The Ku'ulau Distillery in Kailua has a mascot kitty also named Whiskey. Makes sense. My kitty Whiskey was named after a long string of booze-named animals that I grew up with. Our neighbors had a German Shepherd named Rainier. They also had an orange kitty named Martini. And then there's another kitty in our neighborhood named Bailey's, and it was a Siamese-looking cat. And so I had to name my Whiskey and my Guinness after Whiskey and Guinness to carry on with the booze-themed naming of the day, as it were. And that wasn't a seal, PPP Bang. It was a flippin' otter. And otters aren't small and petite, and they live in the wild, and they have to survive, and they're not exactly warm and fuzzy. That's exactly right. To get to the otter side, there you have it. Yeah, exactly, Pinot. I never knew that otters were that big. And here's what I will tell you right now. That was a river otter. And river otters aren't as big as sea otters. Sea otters are, I think, bigger, but that was a river otter. You could tell by its tail. And river otters are the ones that have come out of the water at me and like chased me off of the shoreline before. And I don't like river otters. River otters, they will, and have, and plan on again attacking alligators and eating them. Did you know that river otters can attack alligators and eat them? Yes, they can. Otters are not to be messed with. That otter wanted to get into that Sea Kayaks food bin. That otter was big enough that kayaker was struggling to keep his boat afloat, or not afloat, but stabilized. That otter was almost as long as half the length of his paddle. I was not a fan of that otter. It was not cute. It looks like, sea otters are around 100 pounds. They are big, exactly. And and river otters are almost that big as well. And like I said, the river otters, they travel in packs. So I don't know where that guy's friends were, but I'm pretty sure there was more than one of them near that boat. And exactly, otters have razor sharp teeth. Yes, indeedly do. So, yes, PPP Bang, otters attack gators. That is utterly shocking. Absolutely. Now, I don't know if it was, it is gators. Now, I will say it's not the full-grown 25-foot gators. It's, like the baby alligators that are only like 5 feet long. Only 5 feet long. And it does take more than one of them. But still, you have to be pretty badass in order to be like, oh yeah, we can take that reptile. Oh yeah, that thing that has survived since dinosaur ages. Yeah, we can take it down. It survived everything. But, we can take it down. Watch us. You want to bet? And Picola Tea, that sounds like a bunch of crock. And let's see here. I subscribe to a YouTube channel that features 2 small clawed river otters that weigh 10 pounds. They're so funny with their personalities. Yes, but Devin, I think you can agree, that river otter was more than 10 pounds. And the little river otters might be really cute, but once they start to not be really cute, they really are kind of scary. And let's see here. And Darlene, they will take food opportunities, even young geese, swimming peacefully with the family pack. Absolutely. And Kenny from the Cove, otters punking gators. That's utterly ridiculous. The gators would like to think so, and I'm sure that the gators have, some shame in their history when they know that, like, oh, Uncle Brada's son. Yeah, Uncle Brada, his son, he got eaten by those furry things. Didn't even know. Molly, you should do a 48-hour stream sometime. Oh, good God, Bainy Bo. No, unless there was a lot of money in it, and I can't see how there possibly would be. I can't even imagine. And you bet otters don't mess with wolverines. Well, I don't know, man. If wolverines get in the water, an otter on land, I'm sure, would not mess with a wolverine. But if a wolverine found itself in The water, now I feel like I want to Google Wolverine otter fight. And see, Honda, it would be hilarious about 10 hours in. I would be delirious about 10 hours in. Shoot, y'all, I'll tell you what, when we have the streams for the live streams for the hula show, the Merry Monarch Festival, those are like 2 nights in a row of 6-hour streams. And just the 2 6-hour streams in a row is exhausting. And there would be no way I could do, Darlene is saying, and I am repeating her wholeheartedly, there'd be no way I could do 48 hours straight and try to be entertaining to hold an audience. Not even close. And otters are the bad guys in the Trickster book. I'm not at all surprised about that choice of characterization. And that is true, PP Bang. I bet the comedy would start writing itself at a certain point. Yes, that is very true. And Kenny from the Cove, otters are just ferrets that have done time in prison. Well, actually, Kenny, I wouldn't say just prison. I would say like an Alcatraz-based prison. Like surrounded by water. They're water. They were in a watery prison, and and they really learned how to up their game on land and water. And let's see here. Oh, you love those little tiny otters so much. You have one of their blankets. That's so cute. And let's see here. Yeah, ferrets after 10 years in the gulag. Exactly. An underwater gulag where you have to learn. All right, you guys. So it is almost the bottom of the hour. We've got 4 minutes, and I don't know if Pussycat's here to give me a 2-minute warning, but we're 2 minutes out from a 2-minute warning, which means I should probably warn myself. And otters are criminally insane. I'm not going to argue with that. I 1000% think that is justifiable. Absolutely. And I think, they're criminally insane, but they're also cognizant enough to be tried for their charges. And squirrels are absolutely nuts too. That's it. And hey, Bernadine, good to see you. We are just wrapping things up. You didn't really miss a whole lot other than my fear of otters, my distaste for a hamburger I ate last night, and then a bunch of disappointment about the waves that didn't quite come in. But there you have it, Rabbit. All right, so I would like to hope to think that we will see each other on Friday, 6:30 p.m. West Coast time at Andy Boomatai's show. And then I would like to think that we're going to see each other on Saturday at 6 p.m. West Coast time on Map, with the pop. Map Statter. Ooh, there we go. Map Statter on Twitch. But I have no idea what we're going to be watching for that movie. We'll be watching a movie, though. I can promise you that. So, as long as we're in agreement on a movie, a movie, we'll be doing that. Oh, wait, you didn't read my heartwarming... No, I didn't see your heartwarming cat story. All right, hold on. I still have 3 minutes. Kenny has a heartwarming cat story. I still have 3 minutes. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Heartwarming cat story time. Cool. Many years ago, I went to a cat shelter to adopt a kitten. While I sat in a computer chair waiting for the lady running the joint to come out, a wee tiny orange tabby kitten climbed up my jeans, up my work shirt, made it up to the top of my chest, laid down, and went to sleep. While he slept, little furball started drooling on me. I knew then that he chose me. I gladly paid the fee, and I took Hobbs home. That's exactly it, you guys. Because the cat distribution network works in mysterious ways. And oftentimes, the kitties choose you. And you just have to accept it. And it's lovely. All right, you guys, I guess we're going to go 2 minutes short, but that's okay because everybody's got things to do and stuff to do and stuff and things to think about doing, even though they're not going to do them. So, we'll see each other on Saturday for sure, hopefully, I think, and maybe on Friday. And remember, next Wednesday, no show. But Sunday, there will be a show. Okay. Did you get all that? Good. Take care. Have a good one. Thank you so much for watching. Mods, thank you so much for being here.